Hello, and welcome to the Teslawyer Show. This is my New York Auto Show special. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Now, on to the feature presentation.
The automotive luxury segment has a dizzying array of sameness. If you think about the mid-size luxury, sport luxury coupe, and full-size luxury vehicles, there's a lot of sameness, and I think many of you would probably agree with that. But we think there's forces on the horizon that are going to disrupt this dramatically. There's four key pillars to this disruption. Obviously, autonomy. We hear about it every single day. One of our key focuses, electrification, connectivity in the vehicle, and of course, rideshare. We think these four things are profound. Even one of these has the potential to massively disrupt our business, but all four happening simultaneously, it's an absolute revolution on the horizon. So with that, our focus is on what is the future of mobility. More specifically, what is the future of luxury mobility? At Lucid, we look at it in a very, very logical and balanced way. On one hand, we think about technology, autonomy, the future. How does that affect the vehicle? We want to bring that into the vehicle. We want to take on the future, take on and improve mobility, but at the same time, embrace everything that we love about the automobile, the beauty, the emotion, everything that's great about cars, right? I'm just a car guy, like many of you, gal, but we want to see that in the automobile. We want to see that in the future. So at Lucid, our purpose, our mission is really very simple. We want to be a global leader in advanced electric vehicles to accelerate sustainable mobility and sustainable luxury mobility specifically. So to tell you more on exactly how we're going to do that, I'd like to welcome to the stage our CTO, Peter Rawlinson. Peter?
Thank you so much, Derek. It's very clear to me that the world needs to move to sustainable mobility as soon as possible. And by that I mean with sustainable sources of energy. And the sooner it does that, the better. And there are competing technologies at work. There's fuel cells, there's hybrid cars. But as an engineer, I'm pretty well convinced that the right route forward, the solution to this, is pure electric. And our mission here at Lucid Motors is to take a preeminent role in that transition, to accelerate that transition through competition in this electric marketplace, to provide advanced solutions, imaginative solutions, through imaginative engineering and design, to provide solutions of tangible and differentiated value to our customers. So we have the Lucid Air, and the inspiration for the Lucid Air truly was that of a luxury jet travel experience. What would it look like if a jet landed on the pavement, spread its four wheels, and we could drive down the road and experience that form of environment and luxury? What could enable that? Well, we've seen in recent years this transformation in consumer electronics. We've seen miniaturization, but we've also seen a conflation of capability, an integration of features and technologies. The phone is more than a phone we could ever imagine could be. It's a camera, it's a record player, and of course it's a phone. And that really stands in stark contrast to what we've experienced in the luxury vehicle sector, where evolution has been really the structure of development over the last 30, 40 years. So if we look at a key enabler, that's the miniaturization of powertrain. And you know, the term horsepower is so etched in our consciousness we have to take a step back and realize it literally means the power of one horse. Actually, it's the power of a phenomenally powerful horse. We thought we were doing pretty well when we got 300 horsepower out of our internal combustion engine. But if we look, and this diagram is to relative scale, this motor, this electric motor, is a 600 horsepower motor, powers the rear axle of Lucid Air. This is to relative scale, really a stampede of these beasts, 600 of them. So let's look at a little movie that we made showing how we can reimagine the car using this miniaturization as an enabler, how we can condense the key drivetrain components and make much more space for the occupants and transform the three-dimensional puzzle that is the car. We can even make lounge-like seating possible, and we can shrink the car, make the car more compact on the outside, and dramatically step change in interior space and experience. And really we can create an executive jet experience on the road. And what started with a vision for making just a better car, using electrification to improve the genre, has resulted, I believe, in the potential to disrupt a whole matrix of existing product. A whole matrix of product which is really constrained by the limitations of gasoline powertrain. So what have we got? We've created another little video to show how Lucid Air really stacks up against the competition. We have the exterior footprint of the mid-size car. We have the interior space of the super-sized luxury car, and the dynamic and emotional appeal of more the coupe class. We have a dramatically smaller exterior sized car and comparable interior space, superior interior space than the largest luxury sedans. To put this in context, this car is shorter, narrower and lower than a Tesla Model S, but it's got more interior space than a long wheelbase S-Class Mercedes. I think that's quite transformative. And come back to the executive jet, Derek will take us through some of the design challenges that revolution imposed.
Thank you, Peter. Well, as you all know, great proportions in vehicle design all come down to packaging. And when Peter's vision for an executive jet was born, we took it quite literal. And if you look at a jet, it's all cabin. It's all about the space in the interior of the jet, and we wanted to do that with this vehicle. So you can see with the Lucid Air, it starts with a very short hood. And that's because we don't have to package this big cumbersome V6, V8, V12 to get 1,000 horsepower. It's really quite simple. So the notion of a big long hood being prestigious and powerful is out of date. Short hood, enough room still for a really large trunk, or what we call frunk. Very long, sleek cabin, and then a shorter rear trunk. This gives the Lucid Air its overall proportion. To support that, the surfacing of the vehicle is where I really wanted to bring in that automotive beauty. Very sculpted, very sleek, very liquid, still celebrating that emotion of the automobile. I personally don't see the future of mobility as these funky little pods to go around the city. I still want to be in something beautiful and emotional and dynamic. Next is the face of the vehicle, and that's really, really important because an electric car should look different than an internal combustion car. Today's grills are born out of 100 years of tradition of a vertical radiator. Well, we don't need a vertical radiator. We need a very slim, low profile area of cooling. So this look and feel of a vertical grill we feel is quite outdated, and as you all know, there's a hall over there with a bunch of grills that basically all look the same. So we want to move away from that into something that's much more focused on technology. It starts with our micro lens array headlights. These are 10 modules per side that have hundreds of tiny lenses in each individual module. Each one is self-moving and can focus the beam of light on a broad array of the road. Secondly, it uses about half as much energy, so that ultimately adds to our overall range to the vehicle. Next, I mentioned before, is our cooling down below, minimized, very efficient, very aerodynamic, again, adding to the overall range of the vehicle. And then we carry that theme of simplicity and minimalism around to the back of the car. And of course, this amazing glass roof, canopy, one seamless piece of glass from cowl all the way to the top, and then another seamless piece to the rear header, which of course has a dramatic effect on the outside of the car, but it's even more profound on the inside of the car, where it's open, light, and airy, and adds to that feeling of amazing space, and it really contributes to the name of the vehicle, which of course is Lucid Air. Now in the cockpit, as Peter mentioned, even though we're focused on future technologies and autonomy, we still want the Lucid Air to be an amazing driver's vehicle, an amazing performance vehicle. So of course, the cockpit is driver-oriented. The primary display across the top, where all your primary drive functions are focused towards the driver, and then we have an incredible 12.4-inch retractable center screen for your navigation, touch inputs, and third-party applications. Which leads me to the user experience and interface. We want to be connected, natural, and adaptive. The connected starts with your application, where you can summon the vehicle, you can check charge status, vehicle temperature, cool down the car, and just always be connected to your Lucid Air at any given time. The next is natural, and we say natural, we're talking about natural voice. I think many of you would agree that the auto industry has not been successful bringing voice command into the vehicle very well, and that's where natural voice is so critical. More in line with something like the Amazon Echo, where if you want something from the car, you simply ask for it. How far to the airport? How do I get to this Starbucks? Play Led Zeppelin, whatever it is. The things that get me in trouble on my phone, I'm just going to ask for from the car. Next is adaptive, and that's also quite simple. It's just the idea that the car knows you and learns you over time. It knows where you live, it knows where you work, it can make suggestions, and it knows your preferences. And as Peter mentioned, so much of the Lucid Air is about the rear seat. It's about the space and the comfort. We have our executive package, which is really like a business jet experience. And of course, we have our standard bench seat, which is equally impressive from a space standpoint, just in a fixed position. Now, of course, it's a big challenge to design around autonomy. There's a lot of sensors and packaging that needs to take place. So we've worked from the beginning to adapt the face of the vehicle and the exterior of the vehicle around autonomous driving. And to tell you more, I'm going to ask Peter to come back and give us some more detail. Peter?
Yeah, AD is a very big part of the future and very much part of the plans. The Lucid Air will be equipped with a hardware sensor set, steering and braking system to enable it to be level 4/5 autonomous ready as soon as we can flash the appropriate software over the air to enable this to happen, and that will require legislative conditions to be met. And by that sensor suite, I mean an overlay of cameras, LiDARs and radars, of different field of view cameras, short and long range LiDAR and radar. And we feel that that is the right strategy to create an overlay of redundant data so that the onboard computer system can discern, particularly in inclement weather conditions and peculiar corner cases of lighting. So this car will be ready to roll in terms of full autonomy, subject to legislation and software. So to sum up, we have the Lucid Air, 1,000 horsepower. 0 to 60 will be less than 2.5. We've not quoted a figure, it will be less than 2.5. It's almost academic when you get to that level. It's a very fast car. And it has up to 400-mile range with 130 kilowatt hour battery pack option. This was perceived to be an uber luxury, unobtainable car, out of reach of many, but we've recently announced that Lucid Air starts at $60,000, and with the federal tax credit of $7,500, that actually means $52,500 for the customer. And for that, you get a two-wheel drive car, rear-wheel drive, 400 horsepower, 240 mile range, and it's still a fantastic motor car, a great driving car with great ride quality and extraordinary interior space comes as standard. Quite a transformative car at that price point. So really that sums up the Lucid Air, but of course there's another exhibit here, which of course no one has noticed, the elephant in the room.
To learn more about that elephant in the room, you'll have to check out my other video on the speed test car from the rest of the Lucid Air presentation. Thank you for watching my 2017 New York Auto Show special. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and you can follow me on Twitter at Teslawyer Show. To see more from the Auto Show, click on my playlist or check out one of my other videos. And don't forget to share if you like it. Thanks.